What's brappin', my fellow Nitro heads? I got a new toolbox. Bam. 35-inch, 6 drawers. Pretty nice. Anyway, main reason for this video is I took this durable Losi 8 to school. I brought it to the skate park for a school project, so had a bunch of cameras with us, and me and my buddy just drove these things around and we got video of it. So expect that video in the next 2-3 days. It's for a school project, so I'm gonna edit it and throw it up there. So yeah, be patient. But nothing broke. This thing's really durable. Everything held up just fine. Just got a little scuffed. But towards the end, I noticed that my clutch bearing, my clutch was locking up and everything. If you listen closely, you can hear that it was making a little noise. It sounds a little grindy, so I'm just gonna take it apart and service my clutch. So just so you can hear the clutch, sounds terrible, barely spins. There's way more play than there should be. Maybe it just needs to be reshimmed. We'll open this up and we'll see what the problem is. No, this bearing feels mangled. This bearing seized up. It's garbage. The shoes look like they're a little worn out. I'm gonna be replacing these very, very soon. Probably get the rest of the season out of those. The bell really doesn't look that bad at all. I'll get a flashlight. Not too bad. You can clean that up with Scotch Brite or something. If the need is there, I do have new bell, brand new. But I think we're just gonna reuse it. So I'll show you how to replace the bearings, and if you see any burrs on your shoes, get that to focus. See any burrs on your shoes? Show you how to file those off. So to get your shoes off, there's just one screw here. You loosen. People complain about these screws. I haven't had a problem with these yet. So this just comes off. Then your shoe and spring just slide out just like that. Well, everything seems to be a little stuck in here. Alright, so you see these little burrs? You don't really have to do this with the Max Life shoes. But like for any aluminum shoes, you just grab a little file. So you just grab a little file. And you just file the burrs off. There's no more burrs there, it's just like a little shiny edge where I've been filing. And I drop the shoe. You don't really have to do it with Max Life shoes because of the beauty with the Dynamite Max Life shoes, what I really like about these is when they wear out, it's not really, they're not really aluminum. I'm not really sure what this is made out of, the Max Lifes, but what happens is when they wear, it turns into a little powder and goes away that way. Like that's what all this is like clutch dust. That's from your clutch wearing. So all that does. So when your Max Life shoe wears, it's just like a little powder that comes off instead of like with regular aluminum shoes. You get like these big burrs that you have to. That's like one downside of aluminum shoes is you have to maintain them often. You constantly have to take your bell off and file the burrs down. Alright, so another thing I check for is I take my pin and I put it in my shoe and I check how free it is. So right here, see how it's not very free. I flick it. Doesn't really do anything. So what you can do is clean your pin, make sure there's like no clutch dust or anything on it. Or what you can do if it still doesn't work is grab some like Scotch-Brite. If you don't have any Scotch-Brite, maybe some fine sandpaper and gently sand it a little bit. But you want this to be nice and free in here, and this is not nice and free. See how dirty this clutch is? All over my fingers. So we're gonna get this nice and free. You can also tell here, possibly, you can see this pin is wearing. Might be able to tell. Anyway, there's like two flat spots, one right here and one right here. So yeah, this clutch really needs a rebuild at the end of the season. So now after a little bit of work, it's been very free. So do that for all four. So I'll show you what I've been doing. So I'll show you here. See, I can't even spin this one. So you remove the pin. Just grab like a little safety pin or whatever, and pry the spring out. Ow. Well, we got it out, but I stabbed myself, so careful doing that. So with the normally you'll see that this has a hole here, right? These are so worn that the metal's actually gone over the hole. So what I do is, to get started, is I grab this little pin and I kind of make the hole again. Eventually I just grab it and I push down really hard. This one's really tough. Oh, I'm starting to get it though. So I just go through the other side where the little bulge is now. So now you can just start going through this side now once you poke the hole through. Then once you got your hole through, I just grab, if you have one, if you have like a little micro drill bit, Just drill through right here, very gently. So after gently working at it, we got the drill bit through. Alright, so do that for all 4, if yours are this bad. Alright, so for those of you who forget how your springs go back, basically you grab the shoe and there's like a upper and lower part. See if you can see that hole. Doesn't really look like look it on camera, but this is facing up, so you want to flip it over so that hole faces down. You can see it faces down more. Alright, so we're gonna grab our spring and see how there's a long and a short part to the spring, as well as the spring. So the long part of the spring goes into the shoe, and the shorter part goes to the upper part of the shoe. So it's gonna be wrong way. So it's gonna sit like this. See the spring itself that's sticking out goes up. It's gonna line everything up. I don't use any Loctite because then if you strip this head, it makes it almost impossible to get it out, and or you could get the Loctite and everything, so no Loctite for me. So there's one shoe in there and snaps back nicely. So just repeat the process with all 4 shoes and bam. Okay, I got some brand new clutch bearings here. Brand new. So I'm just gonna slap my clutch together and see how the shimming is. So I got one there. Make sure your clutch bell is free of debris. Degreased also. Make sure the threads are clean on this. No Loctite. I'm just gonna put this in as is so far. That's still too much play. So I'm just gonna grab one shim and I'll be right back. Alright, I think I got it right. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of Loctite to my screw. Make sure the threads are clean when you do this. There we go. Oh, my shim's all stuck here. There we go. There we go. There's still a little bit of play there. You want a little bit of play. You just don't want so much. But a little is good, so when things heat up, it allows everything to expand. I just bought these like really cheap bearings. They sound like they're dry. So I put just a little dab of oil on them and we'll see how they last. But yeah, that's how you maintain your clutch. Keep wrapping. I almost forgot to show you guys. This is the shim kit that I use for this. It comes with 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and I think 0.4. I think it just goes to 0.3, but you want the 5x7 shims. These are just by Kyosho. Part number is 96643. If you guys are interested in the Kyosho shims, these are really nice because, like I said, they give you different thicknesses. But you want 5x7 shims. That's ideal for clutches.